Well, hi, everybody. Hello to the BFOD squad. Welcome back to Barrel Full of Daryl, Season 2, Episode 14. This is where I talk about music, movies, throw in a little bit of mirth, as well as some other funky ass shit. You probably all know that by now. And, last week I spoke about eating or trying to eat Rocky Mountain oysters. And I have since realized that some of you may not know what they are. And with some hesitation, I will tell you what they are. They are fried bull testicles. You know, the male cow, the bull, big testicles. Yeah, it's kind of a delicacy in some parts around here. Fried bull testicles. And I have to say, I'm glad me and Kenzie and everybody else tried it once. But I'm one and done on that one. Just wanted to share that with you. Oh, last week there was a mystery movie quote. Leave the gun, take the cannoli. Now that is a pretty famous scene from the film The Godfather. And it's spoken by one gangster after a mob hit. And basically the gangsters, they pull up on this guy in a car and they go over and shoot him. And the guy got cannoli in the car. But the lead guy says, leave the gun, take the cannoli. And it's been interpreted as a metaphor for the mafia lifestyle. Leave the violence, guilt, and the mess of the past behind, i.e., the gun. But take the rewards, sweetness, and family obligations, the cannoli, forward into the future. Okay, mystery music lyric. This week it is. I saw a werewolf drinking a pina colada let me start over. I saw a werewolf drinking a pina colada at Trader Vic's, and his hair was perfect. We'll discuss the answer to that one next time. And I just want to let you know there's something I want to tell you here before we get into the meat of the discussion. This week, the upcoming movie discussion, I recorded it during a phone call with Megan, my daughter. Now, when you record a call, there's a mandatory message at the start. This call is now being recorded. And also, about every 6 or 7 minutes, there's a beep. Beep, beep, little beep. And that's just to remind the people on the call that it's being recorded. So, the reason I'm telling you this, I don't know if those beeps will be removed in my post-production edits. They may still be there, but fear not, all is well. Okay, for now, let's just talk about music. Oh, another thing about the movie section, there will be spoilers. There shall be spoilers. Okay. Music. Today I will discuss 1.5 hit wonders. Not one hit wonders, 1.5 hit wonders. You'll see what I mean. And the first one is a band called Blind Melon. Now, they had a hit titled No Rain on their eponymous debut album. But they're an American rock band formed in LA in 1990. And the original lead singer, Shannon Hoon, died of a drug overdose on the band's tour bus while in New Orleans. And after years of searching for a replacement lead singer, the band disbanded in 1999. but they ended up with 4 Grammys. Yeah. So that song, No Rain, great song. Now, the second band I want to discuss with you is Timbuk 3. That's the band's name. Not Timbuk 2, Timbuk 3. Love it. And the song, their hit song was My Future's So Bright, I Gotta Wear Shades, on their debut album, Greetings from Timbuk 3, released in 1986. So they're an American rock band. They released 6 albums, and they're a husband and wife team. Now, the lyrics were meant to regard nuclear weapons. My future's so bright, I gotta wear shades. But they came to basically represent graduation. Okay. Now, the third band is called the Bottle Rockets. And their hit song was Radar Gun from their album, The Brooklyn Side. Now, they are a Southern style rock band from Festus, Missouri. And that album, the Brooklyn Side, was released in 1994, and it's one of my favorites. There's so many good songs on that, but only the one hit, Radar Gun. Now, they did release 11 studio albums and 2 live ones, so they definitely had a following. They also received promotional help from Jeff Tweedy of Wilco when he had them open for his shows. The next band, Clem Snide. Clem Snide. The hit song being Moment in the Sun, off their album Ghost of Fashion. They're an alt country band featuring the frontman Eef Barzelay. Yes, Eef, E-E-F, Eef Barzelay. I'm thinking Eef is a nickname. I hope so. And by the way, the band name Clem Snide is based on a recurrent character from several novels by William S. Burroughs, most notably Naked Lunch, a novel I have discussed previously. Now, I own a few of Clem Snide's albums, and Moment in the Sun gained popularity as the theme song for the TV show Ed, back about 20, 30 years ago. But another favorite of mine is titled When We Become, and I aim to have it played at my funeral or memorial. So I'll drop that one on the playlist as well. Moment in the Sun and When We Become. Okay, the next band, it's a guy named Dan Baird. His hit song was I Love You, Period. And it's from the album, I love this album title, Love Songs for the Hearing Impaired, because they're rock and roll songs. Now, Dan Baird, he was the frontman for the band Georgia Satellites, a southern rock band from Atlanta, Georgia, which also had only one hit, Keep Your Hands to Yourself. Now, after the band split up, Dan went solo, and his first album garnered that hit song, I Love You, Period. And it's about a boy with a crush on his teacher. His teacher kind of chides him for not using proper punctuation. So he writes her this love note. I love you, period. Do you love me, question mark, etc. Great song. Okay, and the next band is Fountains of Wayne. And they had a hit song titled Stacy's Mom from their album Welcome Interstate Managers. They're an American rock band from New York City, released 6 studio albums. Now, their third release, Welcome Interstate Managers, gave them the hit song Stacy's Mom, about a teenage boy with a crush on his girlfriend's mom. Now, this is a fun song, and it was nominated for a Grammy Award. The next band is called Head East, and their hit song was Never Been Any Reason on their album Flat as a Pancake. Now, they're an American rock band from Illinois that released numerous albums, but their debut, Flat as a Pancake, popularized their song There's Never Been Any Reason. But it only hit the charts at number 68, so maybe they're a no-hit wonder. But this is a great rock song, which I listened to a lot in college, thanks to my stoner roommate. It was also featured in the film Dazed and Confused. And, listen up, Kinsey, AC/DC appropriated the riff for their hit song, You Shook Me All Night Long. Yeah, Never Been Any Reason. Great song. Okay, so here's a 3-hit wonder for you. A solo musician who goes only by the name Melon. Now, give you a time frame here. She played at Woodstock, the original Woodstock in 1969, and she was only one of 3 solo female artists at Woodstock. Now, she had 3 hit songs: Brand New Key, Look What They've Done to My Song Ma, and Lay Down Candles in the Rain. And she has a unique and beautiful voice. So I've dropped those 3 songs on the playlist, and so go ahead and zip on over to the playlist and hear about these the songs from these 1.5 hit wonders. Yeah, I just kind of averaged the numbers. And now a word from our sponsor. I'll be right back.
Now, y'all might recall real estate tycoon, that corporate developer, Hilton Belmont III. He reportedly packed up his shiny loafers and fled town after severely underestimating the combined power of us 37 residents, 4 porch sitters, 2 active gossip circles, and 1 woman named Darlene who, and I quote, just had a feeling about him. Belmont arrived promising luxury mixed-use living spaces and paying us top dollar for our real estate. But us locals quickly retaliated by refusing to pronounce mixed use correctly, asking who his mama was, parking our tractors strategically across those key intersections, and holding emergency town meetings at the diner every 45 minutes. Witnesses say tensions peaked after Belmont announced plans to replace the historic bait shop with something called the Scratch Ankle Heights Lifestyle District. Now, folks, round here, you can survive 1 bad crawfish boil, maybe even 2, but you do not touch our bait shop. One resident was overheard saying, "That boy folded faster than a lawn chair in a windstorm." Another one added, "You can't out-negotiate people who settle disputes with crock-pot chili contests." Sources confirm Belmont was last seen speeding out of town in a leased Tesla while someone yelled, "Don't let the city limit sign hit you on the way out." Now, luckily, we here in Scratch Ankle know exactly how to handle big shots like this. And on a completely unrelated note, it's hog boiling time down at the cafe. That's right, this Saturday only. All you can eat once in a lifetime hog, 3 kinds of beans, fried green tomatoes, live bluegrass, and Earl's Jug Band is going to be playing his music. And Earl's going to attempt to deep fry pecan pie again, despite last year's minor insurance situation. So come on down and grab a mason jar of the finest shine this side of the Mississippi, dance along to Earl's Jug Band, and get your hog boil on. Thanks again, Itchy Threadgood, for sharing your hog boiling recipe with me.
And we're back. Movie time. Movie. Got a special guest with me today for the movie section. My wonderful daughter, Megan.
Hello.
So, what's one of your most favorite movies ever that you watch consistently?
I love fried green tomatoes. I saw it for the first time It was during one of our summer trips to Missouri, and I was a kid. I forget about how old I was, but probably preteen-ish.
Yeah.
And they just had, random VHS tapes and stuff. And I saw Fried Green Tomatoes, and I was just read the back, thought that sounds cool, and watched it for the first time, and just have loved it ever since. And just with every rewatch, it just hits a little different, and you just pick up on more and more, and relate to different characters. And it's just so good.
Like I told you, I had not watched it in decades. I mean, decades, and watched it again just this last week, and I was blown away. I really was. I didn't recall most of it. I recalled the main characters, and that was it. But that story, holy shit! Fannie Flagg can write a story.
Yeah, it's so good.
So, have you ever had fried green tomatoes?
I have, yeah, but it's been a long time.
Yeah.
Especially, living up north now, up at the Pacific Northwest, it's kind of hard to find good Southern food now. So it's been a while.
Your grandma Glow was an expert at making them, and
I probably didn't like them back then.
You probably didn't. You're right.
I bet I would now. I should just try to make my own. I may as well.
So, this movie is cited as a Southern Gothic comedy drama film. Now, okay, there's some comedy, but I don't think there's enough to call it comedy. But
right, I wouldn't either.
It's certainly dramatic, just a shit ton of drama in it. And it's great. As for the Southern Gothic, you look that up, right?
Yeah, because I've heard the term before, but never really looked into what it actually means. And it is a literary and artistic genre that adapts traditional Gothic horror to the setting of the American South to kind of expose the darker underbelly of the region. And in this movie, you can tell because they have the themes of the racial injustice and religious trauma, things like that. And so that genre is used to deconstruct the romanticized version that the South can have.
That's great. So it's basically telling the true story, exposing the underbelly.
Yeah.
Okay. So I gotta say, watching this movie, I cried a little bit.
Oh yeah. I'm kind of jealous that you almost got to watch it for the first time again and experience it again. Because it's so fun to.
It was nearly almost new to me, watching it after so many decades. But no, I didn't sob openly and grab a tissue, but my eyes got a little teary,
Yeah, someone was chopping onions. Yeah.
So
there's so many parts that are just tearjerkers and pull at the heartstrings.
There were like 3 scenes where you're just like. So it has a great cast.
Yeah, fantastic.
Jessica Tandy, she's an elderly lady. I think she's passed now. Kathy Bates, God, she's just great in whatever she does.
Oh, yeah.
Mary Stuart Masterson, who is pretty much tomboy herself, and she played one very well in this movie. Mary Louise Parker, who's kind of a prudish young lady.
Sheltered, yeah.
Sheltered. And it has Cicely Tyson, another older, well-known actress who's won awards. Beautiful black lady. She played Sipsy in the movie. It was nominated for 2 Oscars, and I'm surprised it didn't win. I'm like, what the fuck
Yeah.
were they up against for it to not win? You know,
Right.
I should have
Right.
looked that. I should have looked that up, but I didn't.
Yeah.
And they won 2 BAFTAs and 3 Golden Globes.
It's awesome. Well deserved. Yeah.
And they made a shit ton of money, like over 100 million.
Yeah. I believe
Gross.
it.
Yeah, I mean net. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So the setting is small town Alabama, sometime after the Great War, and the Great War means it was World War One. They just didn't know it was the first one at the time. They didn't know there would be a second one, so they called it the Great War. Um, but it's the setting. There's like 2 settings.
Mm-hmm.
There's modern day with a lady named Nenny Threadgood, who is in a home for older people. We used to call them nursing homes. And she's relating this story to the character Kathy Bates plays, Evelyn.
Mm-hmm.
And then the other story arc is the actual happenings back in that time, back in that day after the Great War, where everything happened. So we're watching it as it's being acted out, but Evelyn, Kathy Bates, is only hearing of it from what Nenny's telling her. I think that's remarkable. That's a great way to tell a story, and they did it so well. Yeah. And Evelyn, she the first time she went to the home, the old folks' home, she went with her husband, and they were going to visit her mother-in-law, and her mother-in-law threw her out of the room and threw shit at her. You know?
Yeah.
You get
She
out
threw
of
it
here.
hard too. She's got an arm on her.
Yeah. So she was not really allowed to be in the room with the mother-in-law. So she walked out. She walked around and she found Nenny, who tells the story, and she was so intrigued after the first telling. You know, she kept going back, and eventually she heard the whole story. I don't know what else. So Iggy is the main character.
Yes.
And
I've always really liked Iggy.
Yeah. Mary Stuart Masterson played Iggy. And I think that's a nickname. I think her name in the movie is Imogene. I think I saw that somewhere in the movie. Is that right?
I believe so. I'm going to have to
Iggy's
double check that.
And it's Idgie. Where do you get Iggy from? You know,
right? Yeah.
But I think I saw somewhere, or somebody called her Imogene right at the beginning of the movie.
Yeah, I think so. I'm pretty sure that is, yeah, Imogene Threadgood, yeah.
Okay. And she's got a brother, an older brother named Buddy. And Buddy gets a crush on Ruth.
Yes, yeah, they're at their sister's wedding and they're flirting and stuff. And then Buddy and Iggy and Ruth kind of trail off to go take a walk over this dam that's there. And man, the first heartbreaking scene.
I mean, they end up at the railroad track. And she lost Ruth lost her hat.
Her hat blew off, yeah.
And it went tumbling down the tracks, and he went after it. He got his shoe wedged in the tracks where where the tracks meet. He got his a boot actually, like 200 laces.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden he's stuck and he sees the train coming and he starts unlacing his boot as fast as he can. And I think he finally gets free, but he still gets hit by the train.
Yeah, like he pulls his foot out the second that the train comes, and God, I'm like, stop waving and just keep untying your shoe. Or like, I don't know, fall over and just let it run over your foot. But, it's just,
I mean,
it's so heartbreaking.
the sad part, I mean, he was only in like 4 scenes at the beginning of the movie.
Yeah, he was only in the very beginning.
And then he's dead. Yeah.
Yeah. In front of Ruth and Iggy.
They see it happen. Yep.
Yeah.
Terrible.
Yeah. And then Iggy's just never the same after that, because she was always the tomboy wild child, and Buddy was the one that got her. Well, and Big George as well, who she leans on during the hard times. And the child actor they had for Iggy was great too.
She was.
she was really good.
Yeah. And I think, well, Iggy, after Buddy's death, she becomes kind of withdrawn.
Yeah.
And I think she actually leaves home to go live down by the river or somewhere where there's an encampment of other folks. That's the way I felt that they portrayed it. That she basically left home.
Yeah, I took it as she didn't want to be around anybody, and so she would just go stay near the river at their house, but still kind of there. But Big George was looking after her because she didn't want anybody else around. She would just totally shut down after losing her brother. So,
and Big George, what a character! Big black
so
guy,
great.
And he cooked all the barbecue. He was like the chef, and he was the son of Sipsy, who was also an employee of the restaurant. But I'm getting ahead of myself. So, but the family they talk to Ruth, and then they say, "Can you come and please, can you come back to visit and see if you can help Iggy?" And they become friends.
They were both close to Buddy. Yeah, so they have that in common.
They become friends. And unfortunately, Ruth met this guy named Frank Bennett. Mr. Asshole.
Yeah.
And they end up getting married, and she moves to Valdosta, Georgia, which is apparently a car ride from where they were.
They're in Alabama, and now they're in, Iggy and her family living in Alabama, and then Ruth, moves to Georgia. So unfortunately, she's pretty far from her best friend now.
You grew up. You were born in Pensacola, which is 5 stone throws away from Valdosta, Georgia.
Yeah, when I was from Alabama, but one time I was trying to drive to the beach when I was a kind of newly licensed driver, and using my MapQuest printed off directions, and I accidentally ended up in Alabama instead of on Pensacola Beach. I was like, oh no, how'd I end up in Alabama? I took a wrong turn, and so really where we're from, it's really close to Alabama.
So one day Iggy decides to drive and check on Ruth. Ruth won't let her in the house. And
she's kind of keeping her face turned away. To try to hide her black eye.
And Frank Bennett comes up behind him, and he says, "Get the fuck, get out of here." And that's when she sees the black eye. And it's black and blue and green, actually, a nasty hit to her eye. And she tells Frank, if you ever lay a hand on her, I'll kill you. Ever lay a hand on her again, I'll kill you. And a witness heard her say that, and that's relevant further in the movie.
Yeah.
But she does leave. However, she comes back with Big George and Ruth's brother. And they convince her to leave and go back with them to the Whistle Stop in Alabama.
That was a tense scene too.
That's the name of the small town, by the way, Whistle Stop. That was a terrible scene. Frank is wrestling with Ruth and tells her to go upstairs. And they start walking up the stairs, and he finally says, "Okay, I'll let you go with him." And she turns around to go back down, and she's pregnant. We just found out, and he pushes her off the stairs.
Yeah, he kicks her. And she flies down those stairs.
Yeah, he yeeted her.
Yeah. Then Big George had to hold back Iggy's brother there because he was about ready to go at Frank, and and Iggy. Yeah, they all save Ruth and get her out of there and bring her back home.
Yeah, and it seems, rather quickly, the next scene shows her giving birth to a boy, and who's named Buddy. They name him Buddy Junior. Oh crap! My printer just printed something.
Oh no.
Man, I'm right here next to it. Hopefully we won't hear that. So
we can pause a beat and cut that part out.
Yeah, I'll take care of it. I'll take care of it.
Distracting.
I'll take care of it in post-production.
Yeah.
But before she gives birth, Iggy's father gave them money to open a restaurant, Ruth and Iggy. So they opened Fried Green Tomatoes at the Whistle Stop Cafe. Fried Green Tomatoes was the name of the restaurant. And in one scene, she was trying to make fried green tomatoes, and they were coming out burnt.
Yeah.
So
it's
so they open the restaurant, and they employ the family cook, Sipsy, played by Cicely Tyson, and her son, Big George, he's the barbecue master. He handles all the barbecuing. And then, Ruth eventually gives birth to the son. Well, the restaurant's doing really well. Then Frank shows up again. And he comes to Whistle Stop, and he's wearing his Ku Klux Klan get up. With the hood and the coat and all that. And he's got a bunch of his Ku Klux Klan buddies with him. And they grab Big George, and they haul him out in the woods, and they are whipping him with a whip on his back. And there's a burning cross, and there's a noose. So they intend to hang Big George.
Yeah. They came by, I think, because they had heard how friendly they were to their Black employees. They did not like that, so I think they made a point to come over from Georgia to Alabama just because of that.
Yeah.
And it's also implied that the sheriff, Grady, who's always had a thing for Iggy, that he's part of the local KKK, I guess. And
He is.
but he kind of turns a blind eye to how they treat like Big George and the other Black people in the movie, and
because he knows them well. He's very friendly with them, and
he tries to tell Iggy, like, this is going to get you in trouble one day. Like, people don't like that you take care of them and feed them and treat them right and stuff. But he does come up and tell them to let go of Big George, and he's like, "You guys are from Georgia, aren't you?" Like, that sort of thing. But
and they do let him go.
Helped.
They let him go after some discussion and some arguments, and but Frank swears to them that he will be back. Yeah, and true to his word, he comes back, and he's armed with a double-barrel shotgun, and he's just in plain clothes, and he doesn't have the KKK with him. But Iggy and the sheriff they're acting in a town play. I guess there's some carnival or something going on, and they've got a play that they're in. So they don't know that Frank has returned. And he goes in and basically knocks Sipsy to the floor, hitting her with a double-barrel shotgun.
Yeah.
And then he goes and he's carrying a basket, like a wicker basket, and he grabs his son, Buddy Jr., and he takes him in the basket back to his car. Have I got all that correct?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay. So at this point, this very interesting character in the movie, Smokey Lonesome.
I love Smokey
What a
Lonesome.
great name. I mean, but he's
Yeah.
an older guy. He's reed thin, and
Mhm.
thin as a rail, and he's an alcoholic. One scene, he's in the restaurant trying to eat his lunch, and he's so shaky he can't keep it on his fork.
Yeah.
And Iggy brings him outside and gives him a pint bottle of
Yeah.
whiskey. So they all
That's a
love
kind of
him.
another aspect of how things it hits different. Because as a kid, I never picked up on that. I was like, well, why is she not like just helping him eat or something? But I didn't realize he was like in withdrawal, I guess, and
Yeah,
that's why he was shaky, and that's why she took him out. Because I was like, why would she give him a drink? That doesn't seem like what he needs. But then
yeah,
you realize as you get older, like, what was actually going on, and
yeah,
you definitely feel sympathy for him, and you can just tell he's a genuine sweet character, and
yeah.
just seems nice, and I don't know, a lot of sympathy for him.
So Frank is stealing the baby, and he's
Mm-hmm.
at his car. He's at his car door, opening the car door, and Smokey shows up behind him. And what does he say? What's the line?
He says, "You aren't going nowhere with Miss Ruth's baby." And then we see that Frank gets hit in the head with a skillet, a cast iron skillet, which is pretty good and heavy. And then Smokey says, "I told you wasn't going nowhere with Miss Ruth's baby." But he had first said that like
Yeah.
when he first saw him in the room, because I think he heard the crying, but Sipsy had been knocked out. So then he came to intervene,
Yeah.
and that's when he said it the first time. And then he was like, "Oh yeah," and then he punches Smokey, but then Smokey comes back out, and
Smokey's not the one wielding the skillet, though.
that's right.
And
It's
cast iron skillets, they're like 20 pounds. They're fucking
yeah,
heavy. And
yeah.
hitting somebody in the head with one of those is surely going to kill them.
Oh
But
yeah,
we
especially
don't
with the power of a mama bear trying to save that baby.
we don't know who the killer was
That's right.
at this point
Not
in
yet.
time.
Not yet.
But Frank goes missing, and
Mhm.
he's missing actually for 5 years. Him and his truck are missing.
Mhm.
But in the meantime, this detective from Georgia comes over looking for Frank,
Mhm.
and he comes over quite often through that 5 year period looking for Frank.
Mhm. Yeah, because they had that witness when Iggy said, "If you ever touch her again, I'll kill you."
That's
And
right.
so that's why he's so intent on finding Iggy responsible.
Yep. And everybody at the restaurant, everybody at the cafe, they play dumb when the detective keeps showing up and showing them Frank's picture.
Mhm.
Um, I I think that Iggy played dumb, but Ruth was kind of like, I haven't seen that man in years or whatever.
Yeah. Yeah, I think they kept Ruth in the dark so that she wouldn't have to lie and stuff, because she's such an honest character, and so. But I think she knew, but I think they didn't tell her flat out to help, like,
Yeah.
her conscience, I guess.
Yeah. And then, after 5 years, the river gets flooded or it gets drained. I never could really figure that out. I think they said
Mhm.
flooded, but they're
Mhm.
able to retrieve Frank's truck from the river. They pull it up with a crane.
Yep.
Yeah, and there's the evidence, right? And so the
Mhm.
detective comes back, and actually the sheriff of Whistle Stop says, I need to put you, Iggy, and Big George in jail overnight. You're under arrest for murder, and the detective from Valdosta will be here to get you tomorrow.
Yeah, and he mentioned to her, like, people are known to leave town overnight. So he didn't like take them to jail or anything. He was saying, like, you're being investigated. He was kind of implying, you should run away. And she's not going to, because she can't leave Big George, and the sheriff was saying, like, they'd rather see him hanged than you.
Yeah.
And said nobody wants to hang a woman.
The
but she won't leave because she wants to protect Big George.
Yeah, and the sheriff wanted her to pin it all on Big George, and she would be clear.
Yeah.
But it does go to trial.
Yeah.
I can't remember exactly where in the movie this happens, but Buddy Jr., Ruth's son, gets hit by a train.
Yeah, so that's kind of between the trial and the accident. So that's like a scene just before the trial. We hear the train whistle and we see like kids playing, and then we just hear, after you hear the train whistle, you hear all the kids scream, "Buddy!" And it's like, oh no, not again. And then it cuts to a grave marker. But thank goodness, as it pans down, it says, "Here lies Buddy Jr.'s arm."
Yeah, he lost an arm, and that's that's traumatic. But damn, everybody was happy to have him still there.
Yeah.
So in the trial, there quite a few witnesses. Iggy testifies and Ruth testifies, and then the Reverend Whistle Stop gets up on the he swears in, I promise I'll tell the truth, the whole truth, blah blah blah, and then he gets in the witness stand and he says, Iggy and Big George were with me that night at a religious revival which lasted 3 days. So he gives them an alibi. And the judge says, this guy's got an alibi. These guys are alibied, and you don't even have a body. Case dismissed.
Yeah. He's like, and I don't give a good goddamn. It's so good. Yeah. And then Iggy's just flabbergasted that the Reverend, who she has always butted heads with, gave that alibi for them. And she was like, he swore on the Bible that he was lying. And Ruth was like, well, if the judge had looked any closer, you would have seen it was a copy of Moby Dick, because the Reverend was like, I brought my own, thank you, when they offered him the Bible to swear on. And he holds up a copy of Moby Dick instead. And then Iggy's like, that she was just amazed. And then Ruth was like, yeah, he said he would do that and that he'd see you in church every Sunday for the next however long or something. So I think he wanted to help out, the Reverend wanted to probably help out Ruth, and just kind of, because Ruth and Iggy are best friends, but in the book they're actually like a couple. So I think the Reverend was kind of more so looking out for Ruth and going out on a limb for Ruth, and it happened to help out Iggy and everybody. And yeah, that's such a good part. So
it's
the Reverend, because who's going to question the Reverend, and who's going to investigate his own Bible that he brought?
Just a classic twist,
Yeah.
And I think my jaw dropped open a little bit.
Yep. Yeah. It's such a good scene at the end, and of that trial there.
So we're near the end of the story arc after the trial, because basically the town, the train quits running through the town, and the town becomes a ghost town, and all the townsfolk leave. They all move away, so it's just a ghost town. Did I miss anything between the trial and the end of the town?
Yeah. Ruth gets sick.
Oh God, you're right.
Oh, I think you just mentally blocked that out because it's so sad.
Ruth gets cancer, and
she gets sick.
Late stage.
And and plus back then, I don't think the healthcare was quite where it could be to help her out or anything, because she's just kind of left to be comfortable, and plus they're in like rural Alabama.
I mean, we're talking like the 1920s, 1930s, that time.
Yeah.
So cancer was still a mystery back then. People just died of it.
Yeah.
And she did die. with Iggy with her in the room when she passed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think she was kind of holding on because Iggy had kind of been taking Buddy under her wing and teaching him to, be strong even though he only has one arm, and teaching him how to play baseball even though he has one arm, and things like that. She's kind of like, don't use it as an excuse, and she's kind of toughening him up.
Yeah.
And then she comes in and, oh God, it's so sad. She comes in from playing with Buddy, and I think Ruth was kind of holding on until she got there to visit.
Yeah.
And then,
And
Sipsy is taking care of Ruth.
Right.
Yeah.
Sipsy was in the room.
Yeah, taking care of her, feeding her ice chips and helping her with her pain management. And then Ruth says no, like she goes to offer her a shot of, something for the pain. And she says no. And then she just wanted to be awake, I guess, and asked Iggy to tell her one of her stories, because that's what Iggy's known for, her far-fetched stories. And so she starts telling the story about the lake
and the ducks.
How it froze over, and now that lake's...
She had heard that from Buddy. Buddy used to tell that story. Her brother. Yeah,
the movie started with that, him telling that story while they're walking across the dam and stuff. And then kind of, so that kind of bookends their relationship, is that story, because, it was when she met Ruth, she heard that story from Buddy. And
that's
then,
a good point.
Yeah.
And basically, a flock of ducks fly into the lake, and this freak cold snap happens, and the lake freezes. And the ducks just fly away and carry the lake with them to somewhere in Georgia. That's
lake's over in Georgia somewhere.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you're right. So, and Ruth passed during the retelling of that story.
And Iggy's standing there just looking out the window telling the story. So all you see is Iggy looking out the window, and then the clock ticking, and then Ruth laying there. And then she kind of realizes, she walks over and realizes Ruth has passed. And then Sipsy comes in, and Sipsy says, she says, Miss Ruth is a lady. A lady always knows when it's time to leave.
Oh God.
That line kills me.
My God. I agree. And
gut wrenching.
So dramatic,
Spoiler alert. Spoiler alert. There's spoilers ahead.
And then the big reveal, gosh, I forget if it's before or after that scene. I think it's after, but the big reveal as to what happened that night is that you do see that Sipsy was the one holding the cast iron skillet, so she killed Frank Bennett. Yeah. And then I guess when Iggy gets back with Big George and stuff, then they Iggy says, it's hog boiling time, because they were trying to figure out what to do. And she was like, it's hog boiling time. And they're like, what do you mean? And so it kind of shows that they just chopped up Frank Bennett and turned him into barbecue and fed him to the investigator who came over, who actually had 4 plates of barbecue. So no wonder there was no body.
Yeah, and it wasn't pork.
It wasn't pork. He was a pig, though.
So when she says it's hog washing time, that's preparation for the barbecue.
Hog boiling time. Yeah.
They slaughter a hog and then they dissect him, and then they boil him. I don't know why, but they boil him. I guess it's just part of the barbecue process he used. So the detective, little
weasel looking guy.
Weasel, thank you. I was going to say wart. He ate probably most of Frank's body.
With 4 servings. And he says, "This is the best damn barbecue I've ever had." And Iggy says, "Secrets in the sauce."
Secrets in the sauce. Yeah.
Oh, it's so good.
And I guess that's about the point where the story kind of ends. But I think a different story arc that we have here is with Evelyn, going to
Mhm.
see Ninny and hearing this story and hearing the stories about Iggy. And Evelyn, she was just a quiet, shy housewife with no she had
No backbone.
no backbone. She
No like sense of purpose
no
as well. I think like her adult son had like moved away, so she didn't really have a sense of purpose anymore.
and low self-image.
And yes, that too.
But
And her
as
husband was not like a supportive husband or anything
he
either.
was just a butthole come in after work.
He was just a bump on a log. He did nothing.
Yeah.
He went to work. He came home and drank beer while she served him dinner
and watched baseball on TV.
Yeah.
And, but over the course of the movie, as she goes and listens to these stories, she changes.
Yeah, she's empowered.
She is empowered.
Yeah.
By the stories of Iggy.
Mm-hmm. And the connection with Ninny gives her that friendship element she's been missing, and they're there for each other in different ways, just like Iggy and Ruth are. So their relationships really mirror each other there, but in different ways and at different times.
So she ends up a totally different woman. And one of my favorite scenes is she goes to a Winn-Dixie grocery store and she's trying to pull into this parking spot where a truck is backing out, and two young girls and a little red Volkswagen Beetle fly in and take that parking spot.
Yeah.
And
face it, lady, we're younger and faster.
We're just face it, we're younger and faster. And this pisses her off. So she starts driving into the back of the Volkswagen.
Yeah. And she quietly goes to Wanda first, and then she starts ramming it.
And she hits it 6 times.
Yeah.
And
Wanda.
The girls come running out. What are you doing? What are you doing? And she says, face it, girls, I'm older and I got better insurance.
So funny.
So Tawanda, that's a word that Iggy would use throughout the movie when she's doing something big, something grand.
Yeah, kind of summoning her courage there. Yeah, when she's about to jump out of the train, she says it. She says it a couple times. Yeah.
Tawanda.
Tawanda.
Another good scene is Ruth and Iggy are out having a picnic.
Yes, the beekeeper scene.
Yeah, Iggy says, do you like honey? And Ruth is like, hell yeah, I like honey. So she walks to this dead tree that's got bees all over it. I mean, just hundreds of bees. And Iggy sticks her arm inside the tree. The bees start getting all over her, and she pulls out a honeycomb, and she takes it back to Ruth with bees flying all over her and flying off of her. And what's the story on that, Megan?
Yeah, so they had a stunt double they were going to use, but then that stunt double backed out like the day of filming that scene. And so the actress, Mary Stuart Masterson, said that she would do it. And so they had a pretty closed set that day, of course, and they put like a drop of the queen bee's pheromones on her. And so that got the bees to go onto her. And they also had, of course, beekeepers there and the smoke and everything. But then they did 3 takes of that scene. But by the 3rd take, she said she was so covered in bees that like she couldn't even see. And so like the beekeeper told her, okay, walk away, like as they were blowing smoke on her. But that still was not helping. And then he was like, okay, run. And so she started running, but they were still like all over. So she like got in her car and took off the shirt that had the queen bee pheromones on it, and then like changed shirts so that they could do it again or something like that. And yeah, so she actually did that scene herself. And I think she actually now keeps bees
she's
at her house too.
Yeah.
So I think she has 2 colonies or something.
And really
cool that she did it herself, and it was such a cool scene.
After she did that,
the bee charmer.
The bee charmer, yeah.
Yeah.
And that scene to me was magical.
Yeah, it's so well filmed, and like seeing Ruth's reaction, it's so good.
Yep. So we highly recommend this movie.
Yes.
To everybody out there, and it's streaming on Netflix. So if you're smart enough to have Netflix, you can watch it for free, and you can cry and laugh like I did.
Yeah, it's such a fantastic movie. And oh yeah, another point that I want to touch on too is that most people think that Iggy and Ninny, played by Jessica Tandy, are the same person because it kind of implies that at the end of the movie.
Yeah.
But they are not. I think it's made more clear in the book, which I have not read. I'm going to have to make that a summer reading book for myself this summer. Yeah. But in the movie, it ends with that's right. So Evelyn comes to visit one day and Ninny is gone. They said, and they're like tearing down her things that she left in her room, like tearing down her pictures of her roses and everything. And Evelyn's freaking out, and like, where is she? And they were like, oh, she died this morning. And which is a big misunderstanding. It was her roommate that died.
Yeah, Miss Ross or somebody.
Yeah.
They tell her she went home, and Evelyn's like, oh no, her home is it's gone. It had been condemned, and the only thing left of it was the fireplace. But Evelyn goes there to where her house was and sees Ninny sitting there on a suitcase, and they're sitting right in front of Ruth's grave. And on Ruth's grave, there is a mason jar with honeycomb and honey in it. And a note to Ruth from Iggy that says, what does it say? I'll always be with you or something.
Yeah, something like that. And so like seeing those things, that makes you believe that Ninny is Iggy. And plus the fact that then Evelyn says, oh, maybe we'll see Iggy around sometime. And then Ninny kind of like winks at her and is like, yeah, maybe we will. And so then that's really, yeah. So then you really think that they're the same person, but very briefly in the movie, she said that she was Iggy's sister-in-law and married her older brother, Cleo.
Right.
But she sure knows a lot about all of this, the whole story, and the fact that they put like the honey and a note to Ruth at the end of the movie with her, that makes you think that it's the same person. But they are two different characters, which is interesting fact. I thought that for the longest time, that they're the same person. I think a lot of people do.
I think the director wanted you to feel that way.
Yeah.
But then again, Ninny had just left this old folks' home and gone to her house. And where the fuck is she going to get a mason jar with honeycomb and honey in it, right?
And go carefully pluck out a honeycomb from the tree. Yeah.
So that's a clue that she's not really Iggy, you know?
Yeah. So I guess Iggy really is like running around out there still.
I guess she's out there somewhere. Yeah.
I don't know. I'm curious to read the book and see how it differs. And then maybe in an upcoming podcast, we can have a little segment and just talk about maybe the difference or something. That'd be kind of fun. Because I love reading. I've always loved reading. As you know, spending a small fortune on all of my books growing up.
Yeah.
So I'm always a big fan of reading a book before seeing a movie, if I'm aware. But, I was a kid when I watched this movie and I didn't know it was a book. And so now it'd be really interesting to read the book of the movie that I really love.
Yeah.
And just see how it differs.
It's funny. I used to take you to Barnes and Noble, and I'd go over to the adult section, and I'm there for like 5 minutes, and here comes Megan walking toward me, and she's got like 6 books in her arms.
Oh, at least probably 6 in each arm.
I mean, I'm like, Megan, We've only been here 5 minutes. Go sit down and read one of those books.
And I would have a full book read by the time we would leave.
Yeah.
So it'd be one less book to have to buy. But I had been planning out what the books that I needed still and
Yeah.
figuring out which books we're releasing. And I had been planning my list all week.
You were always a big book reader, even even in elementary school. You would read like 5 books a week.
At least I'd probably read 2 a day of the shorter horse books that I was super into. But I was just constantly reading. And eventually we were like, we have to go to the secondhand bookstore. So we were frequent Chamberlain Book Mine. Shout out Jacksonville.
Good old Jacksonville, Florida. Yeah.
That was just a treasure trove. I could spend all day in there. It's fantastic.
Yeah. So anything else you want to say about the movie before we wrap it up?
I don't think so. Just maybe. Oh, side note, so they lost to the Oscars. They lost to Silence of the Lambs. I looked that up.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Well, I understand that.
So that kind of makes sense. Another fantastic movie, maybe worth a podcast episode in the future.
Yeah, definitely. And I can't believe I haven't done it yet, but
I know.
It has crossed my mind. That movie's a mind blower.
I think this is your sign to do it soon.
Yeah, thanks for the idea. Thanks for looking it up.
Of course. Yeah, I was dying to know what it lost to, since this is such a fantastic movie.
Yeah.
Very much worth it.
Well, thanks, Megan.
Thanks for having me.
It's been a real treat, and we've been talking for 45 minutes now. So I might
it's good stuff, though.
I might not even do a music section this week. We'll see.
I don't know. I think the people want it.
Yeah.
I think you should stick with it.
You got to give the people what they want.
Exactly.
I love you, Meg.
I love you too. Thanks for having me, and all your listeners. Don't forget to text Barrel Full of Daryl, because he'll send you a bonus joke of the week if you do so.
Yeah, maybe even a bonus thought of the week. Who knows?
Oh, maybe.
I love you, Megan.
Love you too. Thanks for having me.
Yep. Talk to you soon.
Keep that barrel rolling. Love you.
Bye.
Bye.
Okay, word of the week. Word of the week is conflate. CONFLATE. And conflate means to combine 2 or more distinct concepts, ideas, or text into a single whole. WHOLE, not just HOLE. And because merging different elements together can easily blur the lines between them, the term is also frequently used to mean mistaking or confusing one thing for another. So, conflate means to blend or fuse, to combine separate elements like stories, genres, or myths to form a new, complete whole. As in, the director conflated the first 2 acts of the play into one seamless opening scene. And conflate can mean to confuse or mistake, to fail to differentiate between 2 similar things, or to treat distinct ideas as if they are the same. As in, be careful not to conflate correlation with causation when interpreting the data. That's a cool word. I think Kinsey used it one time in a recent text, and I said, it'd be a damn good word of the day. Yeah. Word of the week, sorry. Joke of the week. What do you get when you cross human DNA with pony DNA? What do you get when you cross human DNA with pony DNA? You get kicked out of the zoo. Yeah. Question of the week. Now, last week I asked how many years before the Earth is destroyed
by the sun becoming a red giant. Well, in 8 billion years, the Earth and Moon will fall into the sun. But we will be long gone way before that. In 1 billion years from now, today, the sun's luminosity will increase by 10%, and Earth's surface temperature will rise to 320 Kelvin, 47 Celsius, 116 Fahrenheit. Evaporation of the oceans may and will likely begin. So 1.2 billion years from now, all plant life dies out, and rising temperatures make an animal life unsustainable. And 1.6 billion years from now, all remaining life forms, colonies of unicellular organisms, go extinct. 3 billion years from now, the Earth's core freezes and its magnetosphere shuts down and solar winds deplete the atmosphere. 4 billion years from now, the sun's luminosity increases by 40%, and the Earth's surface temperature rises to 1400 Kelvin. That's 1130 Celsius and 2000 degrees Fahrenheit. Basically, surface rocks melt. So 8 billion years from now, it's the end of the Earth. We're no longer here, but the Earth and the Moon just fall into the sun. And honestly, I think the human race will be extinct before any of this happens. According to most scientists, we are now in the midst of the sixth extinction, known as the Holocene extinction. Now, I'll not delve further into this, but it seems that we will, in fact, go out not with a bang, but with a whimper. New question of the week. How many languages are there in the world? How many languages are there in the world? Thought of the week. Bad decisions make good stories. Ain't that the truth? So don't forget about the playlist hanging around out there. Season 1, Season 2. And you may contact me by clicking on the send me a text button in the episodes or directly at bfodpodcast@gmail.com. Also, don't forget that you have the glorious opportunity to support this show. There's a feature in the episodes that says support the show, and you can basically sign on to sending me a couple of dollars a month. Help me pay for my movie rentals. Or six pack of beer or something. So that's it for this week's episode. I know it's a little long, but damn, it's a good one. Thank you again, Megan. I think we had a great movie discussion. I look forward to having you as a guest in the future. And to the BFOD squad, I hope you enjoyed this lengthy episode. Hope you learned something. And I hope you have a great week. And next week we'll discuss the mystery music lyric as well as the question of the week for next week. So bye for now, and talk to you soon.